care to hear about.
Yeah. All right, we're over at John's for the second picking of the airplane. And I'm sure there'll be some picking on that. We do have one watcher already. Hopefully you can hear us. That's pretty nice how I figured that out, huh?
Yeah, you lucked out, didn't you?
No, it wasn't luck. It was careful planning.
You need to do a little bit with it, though.
Yeah, I know.
You need to take a little rat tail file and go in there and make that round.
When I take the motor out, I'll stick a rat tail in there.
It'll get a piece of tape.
All right, we got 2 watchers. We're doing good.
This right here, airplane right now would, if he went and painted this airplane right now and put automotive clear coat on, it'd be a 19-point airplane probably right now. This is how good this base finish is on this airplane at the present time. And the little nitpicky things that we're doing right now is the difference between I'd say 18 to 20-point airplane. It's really hard to get a 20-point airplane. I do firmly believe that these guys that have been judging are judging spray shine and not looking through the shine and looking at the quality of the build underneath the paint. And if you're really going to judge build quality, that's what you got to look for. You got to look for the finish under the paint, the woodwork, the tight joints, the smooth finish of the base wood. The overlaps of the silk span, stuff like that, which might seem pretty easy, but some of that stuff's got a tendency to pop up when you start putting paint on it. And the clear will sort of hide a little bit of it because you tend to look at the shine. Well, to look at an airplane and say that this airplane's all dope finished and then look at another airplane that's all automotive paint doesn't necessarily mean that it's a really nice paint job. It means that it's really shiny. And it looks thick and it looks nice for little effort. But if you reward the pilot for his building factors and the amount of effort that's put into the build and the finish of the airplane, then you got to take into account a hand rubbed lacquer finish. It has a different look to it. It has a shine, but it's not the same kind of shine as automotive clear coat.
The easiest way to explain it is look at a baby grand piano and look at a late model car, both painted black.
Right. There's a huge difference in them. It's a different kind of shine, and it doesn't refract the light the same way when you look at them. And you have to appreciate the guy that spends the hours and the labor of the meticulous wet sandings. And
the easiest way to explain it is to take your yardstick and stick it on your car and then lean it over, and you'll be able to if it's a nice good car paint job, you'll be able to see the top of the ruler. That's called a 36-inch finish, where a dope finish is going to be around a 10 or an 8.
Yeah, probably.
And it doesn't matter how much you polish it. And then the difference in payoff is the weight. Where a urethane finish, I've heard guys, it only adds an ounce. BS.
I find that one pretty hard to believe myself. And there's still a lot of work left in this airplane right here, but it's so close. So close.
I brought my 600 sandpaper down here. What did I do with it? Is it under the...
Right there.
Oh, okay.
What are you going to do with these? You going to taper these?
Yeah, we might could do that today. Get something productive done.
That's a big glaring thing, is get that edge put on all that. Leave this flat. Do
Yeah.
these. Sand that out.
Gonna have to sand it up through too. But
Yeah, well, you can't get away around doing that where you gotta.
well, that's the reason why I just waited till it gets some primer on it. You know, primer build. I can start building. I don't have any more primer. I got a gallon.
Yeah. That heavy stuff.
It'll fill it in.
Yeah, it'll fill it in all right. We haven't even tested that to see if it's really compatible or not.
I'm sure it's compatible.
It should be.
But I got them sanded up good.
Yeah. Sand that way, that still needs more sanding on that end.
Obviously, it hasn't even been sanded. It just
Finger down.
Yeah. You know, I was looking at this thing in the rearview mirror of my car on the way over, and I'm looking at this rudder. I might cut that rudder off and put a solid rudder on it. Because if you look at it, it's got exactly what I hate. You know, little spots in the corner where the ribs are. Of course, you know, your idea of the checkerboard might hide it.
I think it's. Or I don't know that I could cut from it in right at this stage of the ball game.
That would be the 5th time the rudder's been rebuilt on there.
You just open up another can of worms. This is just what a real one would sort of look like. And you know how they judge real finishes on, or authentic finishes on model airplanes. You know, you got a guy that win any kind of skill contest that you got out there with his airplane, but he places last row in the stunt competition, which isn't right. Why? Because he had a flat military finish on an airplane, you know.
You're talking about Burns, Ron Burns.
Ron Burns is F4F or whatever it was, or beautiful airplane. But they didn't judge him.
I bet I'd have been disgusted.
It probably made me quit. I probably wouldn't have done any. Packed my bags and put my bouncy ball and gone home.
Can you guys hear us okay? We got one thumbs up because we're not running a lab mic or anything. We're just running the mic on the phone.
While you're ever here, you might look at my plane while you're here.
I will.
I got you over here and we'll get that thing going since my kitchen's starting to.
I don't know how we're going to fly that thing. How long a wires we're going to fly it on? Have to be 500-foot wires. Let's take them wheel pants off.
Yeah, that a lot of weight in that kitchen now, let me tell you. Oh, here.
John finally got his motor. Yeah. 259. Bearings feel good.
Mm-hmm. That didn't have hardly any runtime on it. 10-15 rounds. Looks like it's got more than that by the piston coloration and stuff, but it's got good compression.
You'd never be able to turn it like that.
No, heck, I couldn't turn my 65 by hand.
See if it's got a squeak at the top. If it does, then it hasn't been run very much. one big 5/32 wheel crawler. So basically, we're just over here shooting the shit.
I'll tell you what.
Turn it over slow and see what it feels like at the top. There are more than a few runs on it, but good compression.
It's got good compression.
Yeah, when you get them new, you bring them up here.
Well, you're not supposed to turn them through slow.
Yeah,
Because they're,
it won't do it. New and
you can
then
get them stuck. You're supposed to turn them through fast.
it's broke in. I'm sure it'll be.
Yeah, it's got, this ought to backflip pretty nice. Something that we were gonna talk about at one time or another.
Too cold out. Did you get here a header?
There's a header in there.
Let's see what
It's a regular old.
it's the high rise inch and a half.
Yeah, all right, we know a guy.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. I'd rather have 1.25 inches. I don't think you need all that rise in them.
You do on a Thunderbolt, but not on a.
You got a free gasket.
I got a bunch of head shims and stuff for 75.
You might have to do something with that. Might. We'll have to see if we can get that running.
Feel this wheel. You believe these are the wheels I'm going to use. They look like crap, but feel that.
Yeah, that's them Williams Brothers or something, ultralights or
I don't know where. I think we sanded these, didn't we?
yeah. They might have been square. Aren't those the square ones?
I don't know, but this is so damn light. It's lighter than the good-looking wheels.
These are better than Bredak wheels. These, I've had problems with the rims breaking on Bredak wheels
Yeah.
for some obscure reason. I don't understand.
Let me start charging this phone, or else we'll have a meltdown on the phone.
Found my
We got 2 thumbs up.
new set of Allen wrenches I bought for down here. That's the problem. That's not the one I put on
Yeah. Those props work good too.
it. That prop right there is a 61 or 65 prop. 75.
Well, if you run out of props, I know a guy who has a few. Okay. 180, got any 180 paper?
Bottom drawer down there. Now I don't know for sure. There's probably 150 right there on top. That little gray white paint.
That'll work.
You're sanding plywood, right?
Right. I think round the front and taper the back. What do you think? I think 80 grit's good.
That's gonna be pretty tough. I don't have a little rounding thing. Oh man, I got 80 grit.
There we go. There we go.
I got 80 in that sticky bag shit.
That's weird. About got it knocked down already.
That's 60 grit that you got.
Whatever. Plywood.
Here's about 150. That's 80. It's miserably cold out there. It's like freezing, 32 degrees or something like that outside right now.
So thanks for stopping and spending the day with us. We're not, I mean, this is a typical day at John's. We don't have any set script or agenda. So if you want to ask something, go ahead and ask it. You know, I think after I get this sanded, we'll wick some thin CA on this balsa wood.
That's what I do. That's a sandwich.
Yeah.
Keep the edge hard. And well, that's gonna take some dents and dings and whatever. I washed the dust off these little bit. Got a little bit of paint on. Have to
get some center on it.
Yeah, I can melt up. I'm gonna go over my airplane probably a little bit today. Same thing that I did on Sparky's planes, he'll do on mine. Might go upstairs and get my other engine that's on a test stand. We might sort of show proper way to back flip a propeller. We see it done all the time, really the wrong way. If you back flip a proper right way, you'll never get bit. Never. I
got bit in Cleveland.
Yeah, well, when it's cold and you don't have any lighter fluid and then you over prime your engine, that shit happens. Of course, you know about that, but we're gonna stick that on there just for giggles.
There was a bunch of stickers on it before.
Yeah, he's got most of them off there. It's gonna. I'm getting harder and harder pressed to find little ding dangs. I didn't do this side of that wing very well the last time because he hadn't even sanded it at that point in time, and I felt that it was just sort of, not worthwhile to even say anything about it at that point in time. Right now, though, we will look at all these spots that he fixed, and if they're not tapered out good enough, or they got pinholes in them, or whatever, in the filler, I'm going to ding him for it. Not really ding him. He knows it's there, and it's. There's a dent right there. That dent right there.
Doesn't feel like a dent.
It's a dent. this will come out, and I'm gonna tell you about it, and you don't have to, I'm not gonna tape it, but these are a little rough. But it'll come out when your final coat of paint goes on it.
And that's another thing, you gotta remember there's no paint on this.
Right.
This is all clear, white clear.
There's a little booger right in there. Now, I won't catch all these. I guarantee you, I won't catch all of them. He'll catch more of them when he goes back and he starts really looking at it back at his place. And we've already talked about some of these spots that are sort of repetitious. I'm even putting a piece of tape on, but you gotta say, without this bright light, we had it out in the garage. I'm looking at the airplane. I said, well, there's an 18, 19 point finish airplane right there. And that was in the garage with no light. And I come down here and I'm saying about the same thing. I said, these things a lot of people probably wouldn't even muck with. But if you see them, fix them. For now's the time to do this stuff. And this is the point where a lot of people say, well, that's good enough. Let's just finish it out and keep going, you know.
I guarantee you, 90% of the people will just put a coat of paint on it and be done. Go flying.
Yeah, this will be a pretty real nice airplane, a pretty airplane when it's done. And I can tell you just from, I mean, if you were here and we're looking at this airplane, you'd probably say, paint it and go. I know what he's after, and it's very hard to achieve.
But we got time. This was built, when did I start this? Last year or this year? Beginning of this year?
Beginning of this year. Here's I want you to address this, and I'm going to tell you that. I'll stick a piece of tape on this fillet on this side from front to back. I noticed that some of the times you were pulling pieces of tape off, and I don't know what John marked this for. Yeah, but normally I have the tape over, right, covering the spot that I'm seeing.
I need to get CA on this right now because this is, see this.
It's sanding away on you.
This wheel pant is 64th ply, 2 pieces of 1/4 inch basswood next to the wire, then filled with balsa, and then 64th on top. Well, if you look right here, the balsa is separating from the basswood. The bass, you know what I mean? So I got to put a little CA on that.
Yeah, you gotta get it hardened up. Now, believe it or not, I got pretty good light down here in this basement, but it's still not really good enough. I'd like to have about 2 more of these.
Yeah, 2 8-foot set sign lights up there.
Or maybe even 4 more of these in here. Fill every bay up here with lights over this bench. That'd be a bitch to fix, but
Crap.
now you gotta realize I'm looking at the bottom of this airplane, and a lot of people will say it's the bottom. Most people don't do that, but they pick them up and look at them at the gnats when they're good.
Yeah, they do. Hey, don't they, Jim?
It isn't a 10-foot. It isn't a 10-foot finish.
Jim follows this, by the way.
Does he? Good.
Okay.
Good. I just put this piece of tape back here on the fin, or actually on the rudder, because it just needs some sanding. Doesn't need filling or anything.
Needs to be cut off and solid 1 foot on.
No, you need to give it. This airplane is like a real airplane. You know, it has to have some character to it. Now, if that's an optical illusion or not. You gotta pay close attention to the fillet areas. They're not as easy as people make them out to be.
I think the top is better than the bottom.
Probably. You always tend to do the top better because you have it upright more often than you have it upside down most of the time. Stick in there. Little high spot on that corner right there.
Stay straight.
Flaps are pretty straight.
Yeah, you can't worry about them until after you paint them, and then you can steam them straight.
I'm not quite working on this.
You can replace the batteries enough.
Yeah, I know. This is something we probably need to do.
I don't know, does it look any different sanded than it does square?
Well, it'll look good in the overall. 3 double A, 5 A, 4 A batteries, 3 A batteries. 3 batteries. Let's see what I got.
Okay, anybody saying anything? 3 thumbs up. Nope, no questions yet, no comments. This will be just a day of tinkering, so if you want to be bored working the shop with us, stay tuned. Yeah, it looks better, I guess. This is so hard to sand because it's plywood. I'll probably finish these in Z-epoxy, prime them, and then shoot a coat of paint on them. such a pain in the butt. It feels better, doesn't look any different, but whatever.
Well, that's one of the things that just looks more finished. You know, you could have left them square and they'd probably been more authentic. Joe Reinhardt did one and he just used 64th inch plywood. And
Yeah, but it doesn't hide the wire.
no, it didn't hide the wire, but he put standoffs on it and made it look real. And he swore up and down 64th was plenty good enough.
I'm sure it is.
But it looked good because it was so thin that it looked realistic and all that. Whoa, now we got let there to be light.
I'm sure you'll find some spots now. So remember, if you're shining a light like John is there, and you see a spot and you fix it, the chances are 0 that they're going to find it in the dark.
The 180 building?
The 180 building.
That's for sure.
He's calling you.
And he's talking to the bird out there. Feather that out a little bit.
Sick. It's a disease.
Yeah, it's getting chicken pox. Getting chicken pox. Keep looking at that, and I don't feel anything. That must be just an optical illusion, that primer in there with the white. You haven't done any of these hinges yet, have you?
No.
If there's a piece of tape over a little bit of putty,
Yeah.
it just needs to be feathered down a little bit.
And I
Doesn't need any more filler on any of it. It just needs to be just.
needed to roll here. There we go. We'll try this.
I know most guys would never go to this extent. This is getting really getting pretty picky. You fixed them lead outs up real nice. That looks good.
starting to sand a hole in this thing.
You got Dremel tools on it?
No.
Be too much.
I think I better stop on this. I can't get it straight. This is dissimilar materials, you know, and I'm into the basswood, it's hard, and then go to the balsa wood, it's soft and it digs a hole.
Put another coat of CA on it.
No, the trick is just stop. And it's pretty close now. That ain't bad. Go down to 320. Is that line straight or straight enough?
It's, I'll tell you what I see. And you'll probably agree with me here if you look at this. You'll see you got a fillet here, and then you got a sharp inside corner, and then it comes back out to a radius fillet. About that long in there. Yeah, if you look at it real close, you'll see it's sort of sharp on the inside edge right in here.
So what do I need to do?
Put filler in there to make it look like this and this. I wouldn't try to put a sharp edge all the way down it. You'd play hell even getting it straight. If you make it a rounded, a radius.
Superfill or green putty?
Probably get by with green putty on it because it's this small. Doesn't need much. All you gotta do, it's gonna be a pencil line of stuff down through there. You know, it's about 3 inches right there in the center.
You got any green putty here?
Yeah. Might even have it downstairs here. I think you gotta do that a little bit on both sides to look at it closer here. Let you look at it too. When you get in there and do your hinges real good, make sure you really concentrate down in here a little bit. Of course, you know that already, but I'm sure you'll do that.
Well, I spent, what, an hour on this? And I can't tell the difference. What do you think? Which one looks
Well,
better?
with the rounded over edge, it's not going to look a lot different. It's just going to be rounded over. It's going to be finished. I saw a guy that built an airplane. And he never took a piece of sandpaper out on it. He took it right out of the kit, built it, put paint on it, went flew. The stab and elevator was all flat edged all the way around, just as it was die cut or laser cut. It was die cut back then. And I'm like, man, he set that thing down. I said, man, do you know what sandpaper is? You know, all I had to do was just round the edges over, but it looks so incomplete. You know what I need to do is I need to make a little teeny radius sander like I did for the bigger radiuses. And that way you can get that super even down through there, and it would sand that hard stuff first. But to try to split a piece of 1/8" tubing,
it actually needs to be
a little bigger.
3/16.
Yeah. I don't know if you get sandpaper to stick down in it or not.
Super glue.
Yeah. Yeah, see, there's not a lot of radius. You know, you're only 1/8 inch thick. They're just barely more than 1/8 of an inch thick, and the radius on an 1/8 inch piece of wood doesn't look like it's getting much. I think I would just radius over the front and the back. Put some more, just the thin stuff. I put 2 or 3 coats each. Let it sit.
So there's not a whole lot of spots on the top here then.
I haven't really gone over it yet.
Actually, I don't think I want to monkey with this. I know what you're saying, but if you look at it, it's the primer right here that's giving that illusion.
It's up to you. I'm just showing you what I see, and then you determine whether or not you're going to take it to the next step. Like I say, we're already both went over this airplane once, and I can tell you what, there's not a lot on it.
Yeah, I think that'll be fine. I'm not gonna, because I spent a lot of time on that to try to, fix the mistake that I had in the original Tucker, to make sure that didn't happen again. But nobody even noticed that even.
Yeah.
I'm going right down to the bare wood here in some spots. Kind of gotta be careful. Somebody has something else to say. Anybody say anything yet? 5 people watching and 5 likes. There we go. Good morning, guys. James Dorian. Control Line Precision Aerobatics. He built some pretty airplanes. That's the guy I was telling you about, John.
Yeah.
You built some very, very nice looking airplanes. But I gotta tell you, you've been watching Wendy too much.
Not that there's a lot wrong with that. Wendy's got some good stuff. He's a very great builder.
Matter of fact, your Spitfire looks like it came off Wendy's bench. Or Adamusko's bench.
Yeah, that's another one that doesn't really fine.
I am so sad that there's not going to be another Brodax.
Yeah, it's a shame. There's not going to be any more of his memorial thing there either. That's going to be shut down too.
Where's it going?
I don't know if it's going anywhere or not, but I heard that there's not going to be no more memorial services done out there.
So Jerry can get on it.
Yep. So whatever's there is there.
Did you look at this? Did this shape come out okay?
I haven't been to there yet. I made it to the back of the flaps and was starting on. I was going to go to the cockpit and then start on the wings.
That ain't easy, is it?
No, that's soft ass wood. Wants a flat spot.
Hey, everybody watching. Control Line Precision Aerobatics only has 27 subscribers. Everybody jump in on his channel. Let's show him some love. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to feature his channel on Stunt Hanger because he builds some nice airplanes. I'll show you a picture. Let's see here. We want to do Yahoo, YouTube, and we want to look for, and we're going to search here, CONGROL. Let's see if it's one word or two words. Two words. Space. Control line. L-I-N-E. Control line. P-R-E. Control line precision. There we go. Search.
Now, where's he from?
I don't know.
You on here? What's his name?
I don't know his name. Control Line Precision Aerobatics.
Whose side is that? Let us know.
I'm trying to find his channel here. And all I mean, it's bringing up Control Line Precision Aerobatics. It's bringing up like Shug Emery's even on there.
Yeah, everything.
Shug Emery. I want to search channels. Peter Sparrow. I watched him this morning for, I think. There we go. Control Line 66 video, 18 subscribers. Wait a minute, here we go. Found him. Look at that airplane. Look at the finish on that airplane. Piped engine. Come on. Look at the clear on that puppy. He's got, I can't show it on my phone because but if you look through his channel, he's got some still photos of it.
I have to look at it on the big computer with a bigger screen. Pretty shiny finish. What are you using for your finish on your airplanes?
Guaranteed. That's urethane.
It's urethane, looks like, yeah. It is painted, it looks like. It's just all feathered out there.
Oh yeah, it's paint. Let's see if we can find his channel. There we go. There, I'm subscribed to you. But on the phone, I can't. Oh, here we go. Here's the tsunami. Let's look at that one. Look at that. And that airplane looks like it came off Wendy's vent, just like the Spitfire.
Not Wendy's airplane, is it?
No.
He sold that plane, didn't he?
I don't know. Let's see. We're watching you. It might be Wendy's plane, I don't know. I mean, it looks like...
They sold 3 or 4 of them, I thought. Sold the Lamborghini airplane. And
he sold that to Paul Taylor.
Yeah, that went to a couple other owners, I think. I think he sold it to somebody else. Oops. It wasn't a full-length flight.
No. Yeah, that might be Wendy's airplane. Let us know, Control Line Precision Aerobatics. Is that Wendy's airplane or did you build that? Because they're very, very nice. No, careful. I want to look at his channel. Well, how come I can't? Oh, here he is. You ever seen him before? That's a Jester. I don't know whether...
Are you from the West Coast? East Coast?
Look at that. Spitfire's finished. So he built that. Tell me that doesn't look like a Windy airplane.
Definitely looks like a urethane finish. Pretty airplane. Nice cockpit detail.
Yeah. Great build.
How much does it weigh? Well, we always want to know.
Yeah. That's the main theme. What does it weigh? If that airplane is 60 ounces, I'm gonna watch your channel. How did you do it?
Got a rojet in it.
Yeah.
Header muffler. Are those solid wired lead outs, or did you actually, is that cable?
Beautiful job.
Yeah, did a great job. Cowling lines look good. Definitely, it looks like 100 coats of dope. It's like got metal flake in it. It look like it's got metal flake in that black. That step. They'll do that to make it look like the grit.
Yeah. It's got some paint on it.
Give us some details on your airplanes. Let us know, the wingspan, motor size, weight, square inches, moment arms, that kind of stuff. Give us an idea of, their size and your construction method. Talk about it. Is it a foam wing, a build-up wing? Is it a molded system? Did you mold this airplane, make molds and mold it? It's really nice. How'd you do the cockpit? Those are all questions that people would like to know, I'm sure.
We're going to get you some traffic anyway. I have 2,600 subscribers. I think I could share a few.
Well, they'll look at both sides anyway.
Huh?
They'll look at both sides anyway. I said, my main site is Stunt Hanger, but I still look at other sites and ramble on to see if there's somebody that's not on your site. They might be out there somewhere on another, and you might learn something.
Anybody that's anybody's on Stunt Hanger.
Pretty much. The longest one there is.
And after the Senate meeting, I'm not sure Facebook's going to be around much longer.
Yeah. They're all lying to
Save their ass.
save their asses. Yeah. That looks pretty good. I need to put as much work into this one. Probably need a little more. It would be nice to make some of these smaller, shorter.
Give me that big, glob of glue on it right there.
Yeah, well, you could spend
A month.
a month on those alone.
We ain't going that far. If you can see it, you're standing too close.
Yeah. And well, we all know 10 fits the rule, but it isn't what happens. I'm not even gonna go to that because you already know that.
What?
You gotta detail sand your cockpit area. I don't remember there being too much up here. These was the most glaring thing. That thing.
I'm gonna leave this alone. Put it back on. Leave it alone.
Yeah, that one's fine. I'd say just go on to the next one.
Okay. Did you put glue on this?
Yeah. I haven't sanded it at all. I'm sure you'll find stuff that I missed. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be.
1 week more is all I'm going to spend on sanding this
Yeah,
thing.
you're right there. You're real close. But yeah, it's just like all this shit. You said it 100 times on your channel. You could spend forever chasing this shit. Forever. All you do is add weight. Once you get to a certain point, all you're adding is weight. And if you got 50 million little boogers, like this whole airplane, this is the second time we went over it. I probably put maybe 25 pieces of tape on it the first time it was ever here to mark little bugaboos. And there's probably maybe 15 pieces on here that are they're not bad, I'm telling you, man. They're minuscule, but they're there. And it's getting really picky. I getting to the point where you just could keep doing until I don't know. Whenever. When you gonna stop? You gotta pick a point.
I see a spot on your airplane you ain't going to like me pointing out.
Is it on the canopy?
No. I had to have a look there on the wingtip, inboard wingtip.
You don't like the way I did my wingtip.
No, that's not it. I'm looking at the shape. You're going to have to take some off of this.
Yeah, flat spot.
Yeah, there's like a line that it's not even.
We'll wait till you get up there and stand.
Well, you can swap them out if you want.
Like I say, man, this is a gorgeous airplane. So, labor of love.
You know what that headrest reminds me of? Sprint car.
Yeah, it does sort of look like a fairing going on back into the tank.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, yeah, you fixed all the major faux pas, and what isn't fixed, I'm going to put a piece on there just for shits and giggles, but I think that could be just feathered. You know, there's not a mistake there. It's just a couple swipes with the 320 or 400.
There's a piece of 600 as long as you're standing there.
I'm going to have enough to do on mine here. Which I'm not looking forward to. I need to do everything. I need to put it together, get the motor in it, put the spinner on it, put the cowl on it, put the flaps and everything on it. But then that's a whole, I guess it's got the flaps on it, doesn't it?
Did I have another can of primer out there in my stuff?
I have no idea.
I think I'm going to order another case of it.
I still got 4.5 cans of it. I didn't use very much of that stuff. You used a bunch of it. Because I started trying not to use any primer at all. And I think we've got that system worked out pretty good.
And just things like this, I'm going to Z-epoxy these, sand, because they're not going to get glass. I'm just Z-epoxy them and then prime them. And I need primer on that.
You gotta have primer if you're using cloth for sure.
This one sanded up quicker. I think because I use this block here instead.
Yeah, instead of a flat paper.
Yeah.
Makes a difference. Drop the tool. One thing Wendy does, and I really agree with what he does, and we just did it here on these two, is hardening up edges with super glue, super thin super glue. And he put a little super glue on there, let it set for a second, and he wiped it with a paper towel and smooth it out. And then he waited a little while, let it set up real good, and he put 2 or 3 coats on it. And then he started sanding on it. And when you start sanding on it, it only goes so deep. So if you're doing a lot of shaping, you will sand through the super glue. And you need to reapply a little bit more to harden that edge back up. And it really helps on, canopy or cowling edges and the edges of this, like where you got dissimilar materials, and you're trying to make everything sand the same. It really, really helps. In doing that, anytime you have a spot, any kind of a hard edge, it doesn't matter what it is, it can benefit from super glue. Now you gotta watch, another warning here, super glue doesn't gas off or anything. What you put on, then weight, if you use a whole bottle of super glue, that's how much weight goes on your airplane, that whole bottle. And you don't get it all off either, buddy.
How many bottles of glue you use? 3.
Yeah, well, if that bottle weighs 2 ounces, that's 6 ounces, three bottles, that's 6 ounces of glue. So that's what you added to your airplane.
Now, I like super glue. Tom Morris uses thin white glue.
Yep.
And it's probably the lightest way you could do it, but man, that's the slowest way you can do it.
Yeah, you can do a tight bond or any of those kind of things. Thin it down about 25%, or maybe even 50%. I don't know if I'd go that far or not, but once you thin it to 25%, it's almost like water anyway, and it soaks into wood. But when you do that, the water gases off.
That's right.
So whatever weight that you put on there initially isn't there when it's dry. That's one thing good about using alphatic resin or Elmer's, any of those kind of.
But if you want to build fast, you got to use super glue.
And it doesn't dry super slow.
That's it. Huh?
And got that sawdust on your. Looks pretty good. Yeah.
Huh?
Bill on my hat.
Put the wheels back on it, set it on the floor, and I'll put your airplane up there and pick it up, pick it over. That's glue that's stuck on there, that ain't paint.
You might have to, they're cheap wheels. You might have to just say we'll put them in the painted airplane box and.
Well, I might put the good wheels on it just for the looks.
Yeah.
But these are lighter. I think the set is 2 grams lighter than the good wheels. But you can hardly beat the looks of them good wheels.
No, that's hard to believe.
Come on. I hate these little screws.
I always replace them with
Allen bolts or socket heads.
socket head cap screws.
Yeah.
Cut them off. You can actually get some torque on them then and get them tight.
Good enough. Inboard. You know, now that I think about it, I bet you're right. I bet those are Wendy's airplanes.
They're pretty nice looking airplanes, and I think Wendy sold a bunch of his stuff. We know we know a couple of them for sure. There's at least 2 of them. I don't know if he sold any of his Spitfires or not. He had that room at his house that was the Spitfire room, wasn't it? Isn't that what he called it?
Something like that.
And of course, between him and Adam Musco, both excellent builders.
These are the wrong wheel color. It's for 5/32 wire. But I'll get them fixed, replaced. Okay. Put this on, set this on the floor. Put yours up there. How many coats of paint are on your airplane? 1 or 2?
2.
Well, at least you'll have a little of sand.
I think there's 2 coats on there. Now remember, these airplanes were finished in tinted clear dope from the base all the way out. And I do mean tinted clear dope. It's clear dope with about 1 tablespoon or 2 maybe 2 at the most tablespoons of white added to clear. And they were finished like that from the ground up. It's all butyrate dope. It shrinks fine. It adheres to everything fine. No sense in going to nitrate or anything like that.
I think this airplane will be lighter than mine. There ain't much on this one.
No. That white was thin, probably 75%.
There's some spots. You have the tape.
Tear me up there, boy. I'm sure I got a few in there.
2 right here. Everything is underneath the tape.
I can see 3 right here in the back. Yeah, that's how I pretty much, when I put tape on, everything's underneath the tape.
And like this one right here is the head of a pin. You can fix it if you want. Nobody would even notice it. Now that was sitting there and
makes you wonder if it's a shadow or not. You want that light?
No. See, if you look here, you can't see it with this light at all. If you look here, you can, it's right there.
Yeah, I see that.
Fix it if you want, but we'll put tape on it. It caught my eye sitting on the floor there, and if you can see it sitting on the floor.
You got to judge whether or not you want to mess with them, because some of them, if they're bad enough, will be through the paper and everything, and all your work is from scratch back up again to.
And then you
reshape
got a
something
big
that-
pronounced one here. Look at this. I don't know what you were thinking. You can feel it even. Run your finger across this way.
Yeah, feel a little ridge right on the top of that.
Just right under there. Yeah. Like you said, these are everything's so minimal. I like the way your cap strip looks better than mine. I don't know why I didn't mind come up that good. See, I got some spots in there that are pulled down.
Mm-hmm.
You probably got them. I just haven't found them yet. Those look real good.
There's a piece of tape right there. Looks like super glue or something under it. Oh, it just came off.
Yeah,
it does.
Oh, spot right there. First you knew about that.
Yeah, there's two. There's one sort of going up for the front of it too up there.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that one.
And these things are literally, these airplanes are finished pretty doggone good. They're
Oh, we got a big booger there.
yeah, I see that.
I'm gonna put a piece of tape here. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's kind of got a spot right there, very small. Yeah, so you got some. There's one of them right there. But
Pulls down. There's hardly nothing you could do except use thicker silk span.
yeah, they
When
gonna
you're
pass
using
on
that
that.
lightweight silk span, it's pretty tough to.
These edges are tough. And they'll probably go, if you did nothing to it, it would probably go away with another coat of dope. Good spot right there. I don't know what that is. And here you're gonna have to hide with I think I remember you had a problem there or something.
Yeah, I got a lot of it out. I flatted it off there somehow, or I was trying to get the super glue line out of it.
Got a spot in the cockpit right there. This would be probably hidden with the cockpit line, but it's there. Over here. Yours came out better than mine. Now, if you look here, or you can do it, it needs sanded right there. Here.
Yeah,
If you look here, I don't know if it's modeled or what, but you see the dark spot and the light spot. Just pay attention to that.
might just be seeing stuff through the paint.
I know it's not very thick.
Yeah, there's no paint on this.
And of course, you got a line going here, hard spot. I don't know what you want to do about that. Not a whole lot to
Stick
do.
a piece of tape on that. Well, just address it as we go along.
Okay.
You saw that little spot right there.
I don't know what this is. It looks like a scratch or something. Gotta work on it. I'm a stickler on this nose area. We got some highs, lows here, all the way down here too. And it, this is nothing to fix. It's like 2 minutes. You might as well do it now before the clear gets on there. Nope, spot right there in the fillet. Spot right there, little hole, 2 of them. Get out your green stuff and razor blade and start puttying up these little holes. Oh, another one right there. I don't know what happened here.
Paint, it's called painting with no paint.
Right.
No primer. That's a
No paint, no primer.
that's a tough one now. I'm telling you, it's just nothing but your base. It better be really, really good. Your wood base, and
Gary, good morning. Somebody asked me, he said, oh, it was Charles. He said, I'm at 54 ounces. He said, well, you got 6 ounces to go. No, I don't. That's 6 ounces from the bare wood.
yeah.
Yeah, it includes the paper.
That's not 6 ounces of
Paint.
just paint, top coat paint.
No,
That's from bare wood out. That includes the tissue paper, the base coats on the bare wood, the 3 coats you put on there, the tissue paper with 3 coats on there, and anything after that.
the biggest thing in my finishing method that you have to do is you got to stick to that strict diet. But as far as paint goes, the solid color, no more than a half pint.
Yeah.
And that is no paint. That's 4 ounces of paint. That's all you get.
That's all your colors added together. This right here, you get one of these full for all the clear that you got, unthin. You get one of these mason jars full, unthin. Half of this will be your clear coat after you've painted everything, and half of it will be your base from your base up. So you can add as much thinner to this as you want. So you take this and pour it into another half of it into another jar, and you thin it out. And set one aside for your top coat, and one aside for your everything else coats. That's all you get. 1 quart.
Not 1 gallon.
No, not a gallon of clear on top of everything.
Kenny.
It's
I couldn't. How much clear is that? A gallon?
yeah,
Holy
he
moly.
put a gallon of clear on it. The plane looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And he does have really beautiful clear finishes and stuff. But
My plane would look real good too if I had a gallon of paint on it.
and trust me, these are not we don't put on windy coat paints. And I'm not mocking windy, but it's one swipe of the spray gun, maybe two over a spot, and that's it. And you're going on, you're moving on. It's all in this stuff, guys.
The best way I can describe a light finish is the chrome analogy.
Yeah.
Chrome is 50 millionths thick. That ain't thick. But that piece of that part that you send to the chrome shop looks chrome before it's put in a tank, because they sanded and polished it, and that's what we're doing here to get light finishes, is sanding and then sanding.
Yeah, and it's sanding in between every single coat, every coat.
What happened here? You got the flaps on the wrong side? Why is this one so much longer?
It's I probably got a oval in this here, and then he just needs to push in. I just stuck them on there. They'll fit all right in the end.
Sorry about picking you to death.
Yeah, it's the nature of the game. You know, really, this is what you should do, really, what everybody should do. You know, have a friend come over and have him pick your airplane apart for you. Because you might let something go that he sees that's blaringly obvious, or maybe you don't see it and then he sees it.
Well, I don't know what happened here. I think, see that big dip right there? You can really see it from this side, big reflections, like a big dip.
Those are built up. I wonder if I didn't squeeze that there or something.
Won't take much to fix, so 320 and put some green shit in that 320 and be done with it. I don't know how to do this. He might beat me on appearance.
I had my doubts about that work on your stick.
It don't matter.
We're all in the game together, and it's all about having fun and having a good time and doing what you like to do. And
okay, I'm sure there's more. I mean, after you get these fixed, I'll come over and look again, just like I did, and I'm sure I'll find more.
it's getting, both of these airplanes are getting to the point where there's not a lot on them that needs done. They're real close. And like we said earlier, probably most people would just go ahead and do these airplanes.
Let it go.
Let it go. Figuring, well, it'll vary in the colors and everything. And technically, I guess it probably would. It might vary in there. Might make it stand out more if you left them.
This fillet back here, I don't know what's up with it. I'll just put the tape there. You can look at it. It got some sanded lines in it. It looks like.
So I've got an airplane out there that I used 2 courses of sandpaper on, and I went ahead and finished the airplane out, and I didn't go to a coarse or grit sandpaper like I probably should have. I got lazy. And that's why I find people are inherently lazy. They want to do the quickest thing they can do and not spend all this time sanding. And trust me, it does get old.
I'm gonna come here. I'll show you something.
But sand everything after each coat.
Stand on this side. I'm gonna put a piece of tape all the way across this. See how nice and flat that is? Look at this right here. If you just took a minute with a sanding block and flattened the whole thing, it's kind of like it's got too much paint on it. It's wavy. You know what I mean? You see it?
No.
Okay. Maybe. Let's see. My head is here.
Is it in this?
Yeah, it's in this right here. It's in the whole thing. You can see it, the lines going this way. where it's not up here, it's the lines go, I don't know what it with sand in it, it's like the paint's too thick or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll all get sanded again. We'll see.
I'll put a piece of tape on it. There's a booger right here too, under there. Right there. Just address this with, you know, a block. It's not bad. I mean, nobody would probably even notice it. Got a little hole right there. I think this is finished better than mine. Of course, you got a gloss coat of paint on it too, right?
Yeah, I got one more coat of paint on it than you got on yours.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Just happened to catch my eye. Did you see this?
I know what you're talking about.
This line right here?
Yeah.
Man, you must have been asleep with the sandpaper on that one.
They're hard. Wingtips are hard.
It wouldn't be hard to fix it. I mean,
The thing that crushes you the most right now is if you find a spot that you got to sand through the paper to fix.
yeah.
Which is the best way to fix it, don't mind you. I mean, you can add filler to it and fix it that way too. There's more than one way of skinning the cat. But the filler way adds weight. The sanding through and refinishing doesn't.
Yeah.
At least it doesn't kill you as bad.
Well, there's some to play with. I'm sure you'll spend a week, just like I did, fixing these little
Oh,
spots.
absolutely.
And I'll have a week fixing my spots.
Just have a friend come over and look at your airplane over and tell him I want you to be picky. I want you to find the spots that are glaringly bad, that are mediocre, and we'll just go over it together. You let me know why you're marking it. And then when you go back through it, and I'll probably get on this airplane, even though I got this kitchen thing going on. I'll probably come down here while this is still fresh in my mind, what he's telling me, and address some of this stuff, at least get putty on it and get it drying. And then it may sit for, a week or something before I actually get back to it again. But at least I'll have all the spots addressed while everything's fresh in my head.
I know that it gets another coat of paint, but just so that you got a grip on it. If you stand where I'm looking right here, you can see where you missed, where the coat missed, where you sprayed back and forth. It's a big line that runs out the wing. That'll be taken care of, just keep that in mind when you're spraying.
Yeah, you didn't get this spot in here, which you normally ding me on the inside of my cowlings and the inside of my airplanes. Nobody will ever see that, ever. You'll never see it unless I take the pipe and the motor out of it. Well, you notice that right there. But I notice it, and it's there.
I'll put a piece of tape on it.
I will. I'll put some putty in that puppy. And that should have been done when I was... everybody's got a tendency to not finish the insides where you don't look at it very good.
The inside of your airplane should be finished just as well as the outside.
Yeah. I've tried where I enlarged the holes in the wing ribs after I built the airplane, and they looked like crap, and I took a rod in there and sanded them all to where they would be the same. So it looked better. I knew it was in there, but most people would have just left that. Who cares? You put the in there, you'll see it. Go out there and crash though, and somebody will see it.
I'm standing right there going, hey, how come you didn't sand the inside of that airplane?
You just left an ounce of weight on that airplane, and you could have sanded out of it.
Where'd that spot go? I just can't. looking at?
Low spot right in there. Those are always spots that almost on every airplane you're going to find a spot right there, where your sheeting comes together, your leading edge sheeting and your center sheeting. Those are tough ones to get all that out of it. You got a radius, you got 2 or 3 radiuses coming together, you got a hard joint, that's glue joint that you're sanding over. You either put a flat on them or they're concave.
Got a nice shine to it. For not having any paint on it. One more thin coat of white is all you get.
Yep. I got it out there. It's about 1/4 of a jar. And to do that whole airplane with 1/4 of a jar, it'll take a 1/2 a jar of thinner added to it. For every gallon of clear dope, I probably use a minimum of 2 gallons of thinner. Probably more like 3 gallons of thinner to every gallon of dope.
And the thinner is what's expensive. It's $55 a gallon.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
But I do not recommend using cheap thinner. Having my pilot. I like the looks of them sitting in there.
Yeah, yeah. And somebody asked Sparky the other day, and I don't know what he was working on. He was at home doing something. And they asked him about sanding blocks. What do you do? How do you sand that area? How do you sand that area? See this box? This box is full of all sorts of different little sticks and sanding blocks and whatever, helpers, guides, little things that I made up to get and do a certain job for. And they were really made up for one job. And so for every airplane that you build, you make up a different thing. There one's right there for a leading edge radius for
Voodoos.
Those voodoo, yeah, voodoos. All these little sanding sticks and stuff. Got them made on the end of a stick like that where you can get down in something, and got a little round end on that one for some reason. I can't remember what that one was for. Also, there's an inside leading edge. This whole box is nothing but this, and this isn't the only box of these that I got. I got another one. You make whatever you need. You make what fits, what works. I always keep some extra scrap pieces of wood and stuff in there. There's one that's got 2 different ends on it. It's got a square end, little one, and then a rounded end for a teardrop shaped thing on the other end of it. One's got 80 grit, one end's got 150 or something. This is actually made for sanding in hinges, where it keeps your sanding piece, your your depth sanding piece, this has got it on the thin edge. You want to sand that groove in your flaps or whatever, it keeps you at 90 degrees to the flap. And just a little aid. Yeah, all sorts of different things.
Whatever it takes.
Yep, whatever it takes. Just cut a piece, cut some whatever, and
You want me to look at this again?
listen, these little spots we're touching and we're putting this stuff in, acrylic green putty.
Yeah, aqua green.
This stuff right here, this tube weighs a pound. A pound.
So if you put that whole tube on your airplane, you just added 16 ounces. That's probably around 13 now.
$13.9 ounces right there in that tube alone. And it's got about a quarter of it done. Maybe a little more than a quarter. Third of it. Not cheap stuff, but very, very good. It works. Paint doesn't peel up off of it, typically.
You didn't think I'd get that shape right, did you?
Well, the hardest part about that is leading into that open bay right there, because if you would have sanded that cap strip
Oh, I didn't cut
right
through.
here down, you would have been through the tissue and everything. You'd had to do this whole bay out here over again. Didn't get all of it out. It got 90% of it out. So this is
I don't even know this.
it's this right line right there. You can see it's the high point.
Right here.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't think you'll get that out of it. And really, I think that it'll hide. It's not that bad. Listen, guys, we're picking these airplanes apart. And if you was here and you'd see for yourself this shit, the size of these little imperfections are smaller than a pinhead on 90% of them. It's the thickness of the paint that it's minuscule. There's very few mistakes that are actually
Glaring.
yeah. Don't get mad at your buddy when he comes over and says, what are you gonna do about this? What are you gonna do about this? What are you gonna do about that? Well, take that as constructive criticism and take it to heart in the proper way.
Because you
I
can
need
best
to
bet them.
fix that. Do you want to become a better builder, a better modeler, everything? Fix it.
Because you can best bet the appearance point judges, especially if it's me, are going to look at it.
There's certain things on every airplane that catches your eye. You walk up the airplane, what's the first thing that you look at?
The nose.
The nose, the cockpit, the wing tips, the gaps in your elevators and your flaps. Make those good. Why not? It's so simple to do while you're building it, and then just make it nice. The hardest part is building these things light and being able to handle them until you get them to this stage, because they really don't start getting some toughness to them until they're in this painting stage. They're really very, very hard to handle until then. Let's see.
Well, we've been on almost 2 hours. What are you doing?
Taking a picture.
For what?
Prosperity.
Oh.
My buddy in my basement.
I was watching this Mike Patty. He flies bush planes and he builds real airplanes. I can show them to you on my phone. He was doing a spinner, a carbon fiber spinner on his bush plane. And a real airplane spinner is attached with screws at the base plate. And there's nothing holding the front, and they walk. So he's made aluminum thing to bolt to the prop hub, and then a carbon fiber tube going out with a big, like a pie plate, to hold this centered. I made a comment on his forum. Well, why don't you just do like we do? Cut the end of the spinner off and run that thing all. Screw it on from the front. I doubt he will, but this is the best.
Oh yeah, I don't see why that wouldn't work on the full size.
Right.
Outside of weight. But if you made it all out of carbon, which he's doing, is that the guy that did that Draco?
That's it.
Vertical,
Yeah.
high stall or low stall
Right.
speed airplane.
Right.
He crashed that airplane.
Right.
Tore it all up. I think he's building another one now. He's a very inventive guy. He made a lot of stuff.
Yeah, 30-inch tail wheel travel, 22-inch landing gear travel.
Yeah, big bush tires, man. I think he holds the record too. He put a turbo prop in the latest one, the one that he crashed.
Yeah, he took the motor out of that and put it into a boat, an airboat. And you ought to see that thing go. Boom!
Real inventive guy, man. He's got a workshop to die for. He's not beyond trying new stuff.
Got a lot of energy too.
Yeah. I'd like to have the energy in my back pocket that he's got in his.
He's 10 years younger than us.
He does some really nice work.
I'm standing with 600 here.
I think his house is in the airport, isn't it?
Yeah. Because I think when the next coat of paint goes on, if we lay it on like that, it'll be real nice.
It'll be shiny. Till you doll it up.
Huh?
It'll be shiny until you doll it up.
Yeah.
Every single coat of paint gets sanded. Every single coat of paint gets sanded. This paint has so much thinner in it on both of these airplanes that there's no orange peel. It actually sort of feels like about 800 grit sandpaper, 600 grit sandpaper when you're done painting it. But it's not an orange peel like you see on a car where it looks like an orange peel, like an orange. The orange peel is grit, and it's more like what you feel for overspray for on a car. But that'll be the whole airplane will sort of feel like that at this stage of the ball game after you spray it, which is no big deal because you're going to go span. That's what he's doing right now. He's flattening all them little grains of, they're not even grains of sand, they're grains of dust, sanding all them down smooth again. And believe me, that's where your paint starts covering better. If you sand this down, you're filling the low spots and you're sanding them down to, and it all starts working in.
What did you want me to look at back here?
Well, I can't remember.
It has to be the tape on it right there.
I think it was in the paint, and I think it was a little sharp edge like. And just touch it and round it over, and that'll be fine. You know, we've already addressed what you're going to do back there with the checkerboard, so that's gonna
Hide some of that.
Don't be afraid. If you guys don't want to go to the extent of chasing the last little bit of stuff, be inventive and take your paint job, your paint scheme, and put some lines, some edges of colors in areas. Sometimes if you highlight
That's
the
right.
bad spot, it'll make it go away because it sort of really draws your eyes away from it. You know, use your panel lines, your ink lines, or whatever in conjunction with your cowl lines. Make them run parallel to them or right with them, and it'll make a bad fitting cowl look better because it sort of looks like a panel line there. I know Sparky said this many times before, and I said it here, is that, sometimes if you accent something, it actually helps it. And the further along you get into this paint job, clear coat will hide a lot. Believe it or not, it will hide a lot because you'll get shine and you'll get shadows, and you get all the colors on there, and your eyes don't want to go in as deep. But a real good guy knows what's going on, knows how to look at an airplane, tell if an airplane's been built. He's able to look through the clear, through the paint, and see the underlying construction of the airplane, and can tell you this cat knows how to build.
Got a spot right there. You need to take the spinner off to really get it right. One of the hardest places on the airplane to address is right here.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going, especially on these particular style builds. This is balsa, carbon, balsa, hardwood, balsa on top. And invariably you'll get a line right there. Well, this is covered with fiberglass, but it doesn't matter. And this is pretty much disappeared now, but one setting in the hot sun, it'll suck down.
It'll suck down, yeah, come right back out again. Too many different materials coming together in one spot.
So what I try to do, the only place that I paint urethane on my airplane is the nose, the cowl and the nose. That helps, but try to accent that line. That's why I like them scallops on my airplane. That line runs right along there.
Yeah,
And
it helps hide that. It shadows it. I can see it right here. There's a spot there.
Right here.
Yeah, it runs 6 inches.
I sanded this side off.
It actually goes here, and then there's a flat, and then
Yeah.
it'll hide. I mean, he's not going to get that out of there. He'll get some of it out of there by sanding this paint off of it. I don't think we know if that's not just masking it from galling it out, taking the shine off of it, but it helps tremendously. And anyway, a lot of these errors that we're showing here are no more than the thickness of the paint.
Right there.
There are no secrets. If you just, we're telling you exactly what's going on, exactly how it's being done.
I better not monkey with that anymore. It'll get a flat in it. I got this one out pretty good. Of course, I don't know now. I can't stop.
Yeah, you better watch out doing that. Might want to use a block on it rather than that. I watched doing this stuff just using your hands. Now I know Sparky's been doing this so long he's got a feel. But for the inexperienced guy, by all means use sanding blocks and sanding tools as much as possible until you build up the feel for what you need to do, because you can very easily, even at this stage, and you don't even see them, but you can sand finger grooves and things. You can ask a car painter. He's sanding his primer out on his car, and he says, "Yeah, you didn't use a sanding block on that, did you?" Yeah, it's a big black panel, and you can see where his hand swipes, right where he took that big piece of sandpaper and went like that with it.
Yeah, I think I'll stop there because, I mean, it's closed, huh?
You're not going to see it when you get. What's really hard, and this is here's probably one of the tough parts about all this stuff, is when your airplane is in bare wood and you're shaping your surfaces. By surfaces, I mean every surface of the whole airplane, whether it be this or the fin, this, the whole airplane. When you're shaping it, the hardest part of the build to see bad spots. The absolute hardest part of the build.
So you must handle.
Yeah, you can't say enough about proper lighting, and if you can get outside and get natural light, even better yet, and you can candle the airplane at that point in time and actually see something, because the reason for people putting silver on their airplanes and all that is to bring out all the faux pas.
And silver is the worst.
Silver's a heavy, it lacks adhesion properties. It's aluminum. It's not a good thing. Now, see, we're showing you right here that we can do this without a ton of primer. What you see on here is the only primer that's on this airplane. There's none underneath of the paint.
And the reason why I primed here is because I'm, molding in the.
Yeah, he's molding that in. He has fillets in there, which are a different color, and he'll probably, wherever he's got green putty, I'll probably spot it with a little bit of primer because it'll cover better than the green.
I'll just hit it with white.
Just a coat of white on it and let it dry, and then come back through when you shake your whole thing will work just as good.
Yeah.
I can tell you from experience, Sparky taught me this. Wicks, Randolph paint, their white covers better than any white I've ever seen. Ever. Covers better than Sig, covers better than Brodak. But that Randolph white, for some reason, it's got the right amount of pigment in it to do the job, and that's even thinned tremendously. By tremendously, I mean 60-70% thinner, and still get a pretty much non-see-through finish. It'll be opaque. And I gotta say, probably all their colors are like that, for general. So it's something to keep in mind, get the paint to cover better, use less paint.
And don't think that you gotta have it completely opaque. God. You hold your airplane up to the light, you should be able to see through the wing.
Yeah, you pretty much can. The paint's so thin on there that you set it on the ground and the ground shadows it and makes it look opaque.
I don't know if we can show this on camera or not, but
Might hold it up to that. Watch your...
no, we're not gonna be able to do it. Where's that flashlight? Here we go. Try it this way. No, there ain't enough light in here.
Not enough light. I can start seeing. I can see through
You
it.
can see it's light, but
Not enough light coming through that window.
anyway, guys, thanks for spending a couple hours with us. Appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, share the videos. As always, the super chats help, but we're done now, so I hope you learned something. It's not like we were trying to educate anybody, but whatever. If you got any questions, you can always ask me. Till we see you again, fair winds, tight lines. See ya.
Bye.